Ozarks in 5, brought to you by Talking Rocks Cavern. Explore the beauty above and below ground at Talking Rocks Cavern. The Springfield-Greene County Park Board reminding you to go play, and Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service. Call Southwest Missouri's best plumber today for a free estimate. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Forhetz.
Here we are. It's Wednesday, midway through the week, and fascinating fact, we only have 2 Wednesdays left after this before Christmas.
It's crazy, isn't it? Coming up fast.
It's moving right along.
Here's some news. As gun violence becomes more of a problem in the Springfield area, the city and Greene County are coming together to try to end it. There was another shooting this past weekend in the mall parking lot. Community leader Francine Pratt is co-chairing the Gun Safety and Violence Collaborative and says instilling hope in our youth is key to curbing violence, as well as showing them opportunities for their future. Multiple leaders are taking part of this, such as the mayor, the police chief, the sheriff, and leaders from the NAACP and others. Meanwhile, Springfield Mayor Ken McClure is in his final stretch as mayor, and whoever is the next one might have a longer tenure or term in there. The council members right now are considering changing the city charter to allow the current 2-year mayoral term to be extended to 4 years. So we'll see. That's the same term as council members, by the way. Any changes to the city charter would require a vote of the people.
Interesting. The next education commissioner in the state of Missouri has been named. Republican State Senator Carla Esslinger from Wasola will take place and take that role in June. That's coming up in June. So she's been named, hasn't taken the role yet. Prior to serving over the Douglas, Howell, Ozark, Shannon, Stone, Taney, and Texas County District, she worked in education for more than 30 years as a teacher, principal, administrator, and superintendent. She was then assistant commissioner in Desi's Office of Educator Quality as well. So a tenured career. Academics is the focus of the latest new conference in the Ozarks. The Greater Ozarks Conference includes 7 public and private schools. Billings, Crane, Greenwood Laboratory, Marion C. Early, New Covenant Academy, Pleasant Hope, and Spokane are all in the new conference. It was created to provide a unified structure for these schools to improve academic achievement, extracurricular activities, and professionalism. So it's like the 4th new conference shakeup that's been going on in the recent, just over the summer, I think.
Yeah, been several. Longtime Springfield staple is expanding. Bambino's Cafe, located in the Phelps Grove neighborhood, is getting a second story, a much bigger kitchen because they think they're going to need it, and more parking. So that's assuming all of the approval happens from planning and zoning, by the way. It sits in a residential neighborhood. So that's why they'll have to go to P&Z. It would be about a $700,000 project, hoping to start it this coming up spring.
And what famous thing happened at that very Bambino's?
You tell me, sir.
What do you mean? You don't know?
Yes, I know. What do you mean, do I know?
Okay, I was going to say, you're looking like you didn't know. You didn't remember. That was our first date. That's the first place that we went to have dinner as on a date by ourselves, right?
We went on a date to Bambino's. We ate dinner. Then we went to a Missouri State basketball game. Ethan lost his Jeep.
I did.
We
just for a little while in the parking.
Went into the ball game, came back out, and he could not find it in the parking garage.
That's true.
Which is only funny because we've been married now for 16 years and he's never done that a single time ever again. And so I just think he was very flustered.
I was very flustered.
Date.
I was in the company of a beautiful lady, and I didn't have my wits together.
Anyway, I do love Bambino's. It's funny because we loved it so much, but we rarely go there. I don't know why.
Well, we don't go anywhere these days because we're busy running kids around. So
yes,
it has been a little while since we've been there, but we hope that they can add on and get this thing going. We'll be back.
Yeah, it's exciting. Mm-hmm. Okay, get this. The National Weather Service is changing the criteria for winter storm warnings. That means you could get more warnings issued for the Ozarks because they're lessening the criteria, if you will. They are dropping the snow threshold by an inch. So That means for most of Missouri, all of the Ozarks, a prediction of 5 inches of snow will make it eligible for a warning to go out. In the past, the criteria started at 6 inches of snow. As for Arkansas, the threshold will now be 4 inches of snow to let that warning go out. The amount for ice and sleet will be the same as it's always been.
Okay. That's interesting. I wonder what.
Fair enough. Good for them. Because honestly, 5 inches of snow, because we don't get a ton of snow anymore, is sizable, I think. Don't you?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I just don't like I don't want them crying wolf all the time.
But if they're predicting 5 inches of snow, to me, that is sizable enough that I would want a heads up. And I do pay attention when there's an actual warning. And that's about it. So
that's interesting. Here's something that people at home don't know about what went on at KY3 while I was there. That we did a snow pool. Every time there would be the prediction of Snowmageddon, I would go around and everybody plays for you pick the snow total to the nearest 1/10 of an inch and we would set a cutoff time as of this hour according to the National Weather Service. So I did all the research. After the snowstorm, whether it hit or not, I would call the National Weather Service and I would say, what is the total snow accumulation to the 10th of an inch as of this time? And they would tell me, and then I would go give all the dollars to whoever won our snow pool. And there were people who they do the same thing every time. They'd say a skiff, which I don't even know is an actual weather term, but they give me $1 and they'd say a skiff because they thought it was never going to happen. And they were pretty close a lot of the time. They were closer than most of the time. They were closer than the people who said the higher numbers.
Yeah. Anyway, fun times. Good memories.
Fun. But I just had lunch with Ron yesterday, but Ron and the weather people would never take part. They would always pass, which I wasn't a fan of. I think if you're gonna say it on TV, let's put your money where your mouth is.
It's $1, and I wouldn't either. Maybe they don't want to gamble. You bad influence.
No, you wouldn't either. You did.
I don't even remember playing in the snow pool. I was at work at like 2:30 in the morning or something.
I know. You were never there, so I played for you.
What?
But you never won.
Well, that's your fault.
I'm pretty sure you didn't win. It's not like I kept the money or anything.
Own basketball bracket. Thank you very much.
That's what we did. We used to do snow pools, and I do miss that.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Go.
Oh, Joplin is going to be asking taxpayers to voluntarily raise their property taxes to pay for a new home for the city's police and fire departments, as well as courts. Funding for the new Justice Center in downtown Joplin will be on the ballot for voters to decide in August of next year. So there's still plenty of time. But it's interesting, they're not doing it in November of next year, which is the big presidential election.
All right. 2 families, this is interesting, are suing Panera Bread Company, saying a drink killed their family member that they had ordered at the store. The drink in question is Panera's charged lemonade. Perhaps you've heard of it. It is very caffeinated. 2 people died after drinking it. One was a 21-year-old female college student with a heart condition who suffered 2 cardiac arrests and later died. The other was a 46-year-old man who had high blood pressure and a developmental delay who suffered cardiac arrest and died after drinking 3 of the charged lemonades. The lawsuits claim a large charged lemonade contains more caffeine than cans of Red Bull and Monster energy drinks combined and has almost 30 teaspoons of sugar.
Wow. That'll be, I don't even know what to think about that. I know that I'm concerned about even Monster, even those energy drinks.
Well, here is what you don't know. So don't quote me on the exact caffeine milliliters or however they measure it, because I don't have it right in front of me. But this is what I can tell you. On the morning show, speaking of, I had a friend who ran the camera and he drank so many of those Monster drinks during the course of the 4-hour show. And I was like, you are going to like pass out behind the camera. And so we looked it up, and they actually had less caffeine than the black coffee that I drink. Now, arguably, obviously, black coffee is better for you because it's natural. And there's a lot of other stuff added into the Monster drink. But technically, the black coffee still had more caffeine content than the Monster drink. Now, I was drinking a blonde roast. Yeah, I was drinking a blonde, which is the highest amount of caffeine. Yes, the lighter the roast, the higher the caffeine content. But he brought up a good point. You know what I mean? Because I was afraid for him for the caffeine, because it was just me and him in the studio. And I'm like, listen, if you go down on Red Bull, or not Red Bull, whatever it's called, Monster, whatever, energy, something, number 4. But sure enough,
but you weren't
drinking more caffeine than him.
You weren't drinking 4 of those coffee cups, were you?
I mean, I had the taller mugs that we have, like the travel mugs. So yeah, I mean,
that's like 16 or 20 ounces max.
Okay.
If he's drinking 4 of those tall boy cans.
Yeah.
That's a lot more than you.
It's a lot. But anyway, it was just really interesting.
But your concern, or your surprise, was that one can had less caffeine than 1 cup of coffee.
Right.
1 large cup of coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is surprising, actually.
So anyway.
All right.
I mean, it's been years at this point since I looked at the caffeine content, but we were like, oh, I stand corrected, although obviously black coffee doesn't have all the other stuff in it. I don't know what else is in it, but and Monster is not this, but it's in that same family, the energy drinks. And I don't know. It's interesting to me because of the Panera has already added new verbiage to this charged lemonade, because this is not a new story. I mean, there's been an update in it, but it's not a new story. This was several months ago at this point, and they do have a warning now. So I don't know what that means, but something in the litigation world, I'm sure.
Okay. We know Patrick Mahomes is incredible on the field, and now he's being recognized for what he does off the field. Again this year, for the second year in a row, he is the Chiefs representative in the running for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award in the NFL. All 32 teams nominate who they believe is the best example of off-the-field community service contributions. And that award will be given out before the Super Bowl. So he does a lot of good stuff for the community. I know that. But he's up against 31 other guys like him who do a lot of good stuff for their community. So it'll be interesting. Who doesn't love milkshakes? There's nobody raising their hand right now. And that's good news, because Branson has a new place that specializes in milkshakes. The Yard Milkshake Bar is now open in Branson. It's located on West Main Street, just west of Highway 65, so up the hill from the landing. There are currently 27 locations in the United States. This is the only one in Missouri. So you have to go to Branson to go to the only Yard Milkshake Bar. It is known for its Instagrammable extreme milkshakes, ice cream, sundaes, and edible cookie dough.
Sounds pretty tasty. Right at my alley.
Is pretty decadent. They it's like a Hertz Donuts but with ice cream. All the stuff that they pile on the top. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty extreme.
And finally, if you need to then burn off the ice cream and the turkey trot wasn't enough for you, you can get ready for the Santa Run. It is happening this Saturday in Springfield. Every registered runner, this is fun, gets a 5-piece Santa suit to run in. You know the video, the ones of the Santa Clauses running down the street. It's a 5K Saturday morning, 8 a.m. starting at Jordan Valley Ice Park in downtown Springfield. Put on by my good friend Keaton Garrett with Heartland Racing Company. So it's always they put on good events. So that's fun. And then on Friday night, December 15th, there's another Christmas themed run as well. So that'll be fun as well.
Yeah, it looked like I saw pictures online, and it looks like a lot of fun if you take out the running part of it. It looked like it'd be a blast, and
You
maybe
know
the
what? You
cold
could
weather.
walk if you would like
take
to
out
take part. I'm
you
sure
take
he
out
could
the
find you a Santa suit to walk in.
if you take out the running and the cold, that sounds like something I'd love. Honestly, to celebrate the season.
All right.
And
Well, hey, don't forget.
Wouldn't wear a Santa suit. So
Really, you're not in on anything then?
Everything except for those three things.
Yeah.
I think I'm good on. No, but it looks like a lot of fun. It looked like there was a good crowd there last year too.
Yeah, a couple hundred people in that one, and then closer to 500 people in the other Christmas time run. So it's fun. And Heartland Racing, our kids do triathlons with them all the time. So it's a good one. Also, don't forget the 12 Days of Christmas contest. It's at aroundtheozarks.com. Just go to Around the Ozarks, click on contest, and you can enter to win our 12 Days of Christmas. And there's lots of really cool gift cards and stuff that we're giving away. So check that out right now at aroundtheozarks.com. And I'll try to untie my tongue for the rest of the day. I'll see if I can work on that.
All right. Thanks for being with us this morning. We appreciate you listening and watching, and ask that you share with your friends, and meet us right back here tomorrow morning.
See you then.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to your Wednesday. Grab the big coat today. It's cold out there. We've got temperatures in the mid-20s. Well below the freezing point this morning. The good news that I have for you is that the warm-up begins today, so we don't have to wait much longer for warmer weather to greet us in the Ozarks. Sunny and warmer, that's the big headline in the forecast for this afternoon. We have temperatures that will eventually climb into the low and mid-50s today. Temperatures are well above average, not just today, but also tomorrow. In fact, I think tomorrow is going to be even warmer, with high temperatures returning into the 60s. The weather map today shows a big blue H, and what that means is high pressure is in control for us today. It means sinking air. It's very difficult to get cloud cover to develop in these conditions, so the result will be sunshine for us. Unsettled weather up to the northwestern portion of the country. And for us in the Midwest, things are looking pretty nice. We're also under this influence of a big ridge of high pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and that will also help to boost temperatures tomorrow. But the trade-off for the warmth is going to be the wind on Thursday. We've got mid-60s back in the forecast, but this could mean winds gusting 30 to maybe even 35, close to 40 miles an hour on Thursday. It is really going to be in the headlines. It's a south wind in the forecast tomorrow. Travel may become difficult, or high profile vehicles, they could have some issues on the roadways. It's something to keep in mind. Loose objects could be blown around. Some small limbs may break. If you don't quite securely have the Christmas decorations tied down, you might want to make sure you do that before Thursday, because things are going to get very windy across the Ozarks. I expect that rain and thunderstorm chances then return for us by the time we get to late in the week and into the weekend. I have rain and even the potential for thunderstorms in the forecast on Friday and Friday night. That's going to linger into Saturday morning. And I know you've probably heard the rumblings of this, and it's true. There's a chance for some snowflakes to mix in with the rain showers that come through Saturday night into Sunday. Right now, not looking like a big impact storm for the Ozarks, but it's something that I'm watching as we get a little bit closer to the weekend forecast. The next couple of days, they're going to be warm, but the wind will be a headline, as I mentioned, on Thursday. Don't be caught off guard by that and think you can just head outside and enjoy 63 degrees. The wind will be the trade-off. We've also got 60s back in the forecast on Friday, but it's those late day showers that return for us on Friday. And then by Saturday, that's when the thunderstorm chances are going to be out there too. That's primarily going to be in the morning hours. What's making headlines around the country? Well, it's still the Pineapple Express out on the West Coast, bringing excessive rainfall and flooding over the Pacific Northwest, and some rain and unsettled weather for portions of California and Oregon as well. We also have snow in the forecast for the central Appalachian Mountains, and then we've also got a warming trend in the forecast that's going to happen through the Great Plains, and we get in on that here in the Midwest as well. So lots going on across the country. Enjoy the bit of calm weather today in comparison. The Wake Up Weather Brain Twister question today, sponsored by Scooter's Coffee. Well, here's the question that I left you with yesterday. The fear of humans. What do you think it's called? It would be very hard to socialize with this phobia. The options that I gave you were A, androphobia, B, anthropophobia, C, gynophobia, or D, phobophobia. And the answer is, if you knew the root there, it is anthropophobia. B, the answer today. So congratulations if that was your guess on the Around the Ozarks webpage. If you were a correct answer, you are now entered to win a $20 Scooters gift card. What better way to start a morning? I could use another cup this morning. The fear of people. That would be a terrible thing to have. People with anthropophobia may avoid crowds. They may fear eye contact or worry that they are being judged. It is not a clinical disorder in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, but many people do consider it a specific phobia, and it has a name. It's anthropophobia. B, the answer to yesterday's question. All right, here's the question that I'll leave you with for tomorrow morning. What is the largest organ in the human body? Do you think it's A, the kidney, B, the femur, C, skin, or D, brain? You can submit your guess over at aroundtheozarks.com. While you're there submitting our trivia question, make sure you also enter the 12 Days of Christmas giveaways by Around the Ozarks. We want to help you celebrate the holiday season with some last-minute Christmas gifts. From us to you, there's going to be a whole lot of great prizes here. I've mentioned a couple area restaurant gift cards, as well as tickets to the Springfield Symphony, the Alamo Draft House, and of course, the grand prize, signed jersey by former Kansas City Chiefs star Dwayne Bowe. I finally got it right. 12 Days of Christmas with Around the Ozarks. Make sure you enter to win. You can also share that on social media for an extra entry, and you can check out the forecast while you're on the website as well. Thanks so much for listening this morning. I will catch you again early tomorrow morning. Stay warm this morning. Temperatures are in the 20s. We're looking at a high temperature in the low to mid 50s today. Lots of sunshine, and temps are back into the 60s by Thursday.